It's time for Dads Without Dads, a community of men who are determined to become the dads we never had. Today's episode is all about resilience, perseverance, and survival. Because my guest today embodies all those attributes, as you will be able to hear it from his story as we get to learn about this great individual and son of the soil. His name is Brian Chishimba. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll for Mr. Brian, aka Evangelist. Yeah. How are you?
No, thank you very much, Biflo. It's a great opportunity to be on this platform, and also greetings to the listeners and also the viewers.
Thank you so much. I am so happy and delighted to have you on this platform because I really, really believe that your story, your life story generally is one full of inspiration that will be able to touch lives. And I also strongly believe that this episode will change lives because when you have shared your story on many platforms where I have seen you and witnessed that sharing of your history, I have been so moved, and I've also seen so many people wanting to tap into your wealth of knowledge and also your story itself in terms of how you've been able to navigate life. And so many people are inspired by you, but more people will be inspired when they watch this, I know.
Thank you.
Before I preempt, I will just start by asking you to tell us about yourself. Who are you? Or where are you from? Where did you grow up? What can you remember about your childhood?
Okay, thank you. So my name is Brian Chishimba. I'm an evangelist and also a mental health clinician, as well as a recovery mentor, and also an author of 3 books: Triumph Over Alcohol and Drug Addiction, which talks about my true life story, which I'm likely to talk in detail on this platform, and also the Proven Code, which brings now the lived experience with the evidence-based practice, having undergone a training in mental health and psychiatry training, and also the Divine Codes for the Flesh, From Brokenness to Purposeful Living, which brings the God's design and God's purpose for humankind. So this is the faith-based intervention to recovery. So I am an author. Now, when we get back to my childhood career, my childhood, I was born in Kabwe district, which is about 140 kilometers from Lusaka. I was born on 7th November 1985, and we were living together with mom and dad. At one time we even went to Kafue when I was too young. Then we came back to Kabwe where we were staying. If I remember very well, I was about 5 to 6 years. My father, they had, I don't know, there was problems, marital problems. So they divorced. After they divorced, myself with my elder sister and my mother, we went to go and live with my grandmother in Katondo Site and Service, house number 141. Katondo, if you can remember, Katondo there's the Katondo Hospital Clinic, just I think the third house. That's where I was staying with my grandmother. As we were living with her there, my mother also died. So we remained with my elder sister, and it was, I think, 2 years later, my elder sister also died. And my grandmother happened to have 6 children. Wakweta 6. Then my mother was the 4th born and the first one to die. Then that period, our mothers now, the sisters to my mother, they also started dying. And my grandmother lost 5 children out of the 6 of her children. Only remained with one, who was at time here in Lusaka. So all these 5 children had also children. So we were now, all of us, kwale batingaba anti bafwa, like abambililepo, our mother in Bwembya, she died, left 2 children. Those children came and joined me. Like I was the eldest orphan. So I'm an orphan. Yeah, this is it. When I remember this. So everyone was coming, joining us. The mother dies, joins. Another one joins. So we were a total of 10 of us. All our parents died. And we started growing together as brothers and sisters. And
that's in your grandmother's house?
In my grandmother's house. And unfortunately, the eldest among us, he was
among the dependents,
among the orphaned children, also battled alcohol and drug addiction, and he died whilst he was just young. So I remained the eldest male grandson. So there were 3. I have 3 elders. Now, myself, I became like the eldest male grandson. And at one point, my grandmother now went to enroll me to start my primary education at Kasandamalombe Primary School there in Kabwe. And I didn't want to start school. She had to wait for me. The first day she took me in class, she waited for me. And eventually, I loved going to school on my own. And I did my grade 1 up to 7 at Kasandamalombe Primary School. And I passed very well. In fact, I was one of the best students per grade 7. So my uncle, who was staying here in Lusaka, saw that I've done very good. So he made a very good decision. Together with my auntie, they decided to say, okay, let's take Brian. Let's educate him. So that tuwe kwa wako educated, tufureko pa family. Maybe akaka poverty, kaingira pa family. Kachepa konga tuasambiri lako. That's how he made that drastic decision. Okay. Brought me to Kabwe, to Lusaka. And as I came to Lusaka, my father also died. My father also died. And now
we need to just backtrack a bit. Before we even get to your father, I would like us to talk about the time that you were in Katondo, because there might be people watching us right now who have no idea what type of locality, what type of area that Katondo is. So maybe let's just give them a description of what we would compare Katondo to. Let's say if someone is watching from Lusaka, what area would we say is similar to Katondo so that they have the context?
This time, I think there's no area I can compare because takwali amalaiti. Katondo takwali amalaiti. Takwali fia kwali fia. It's a compound ku ghetto fia.
Ghetto sana.
Ku ghetto sana.
The shanty of the shanties.
Yes, the shanty of the shanties.
Nero baya red.
Tualefu manga tuafuma Katondo. Kuya mkushitisha face mkushitisha parafini ushku. Tuale pitamu na parafini ngamambuya watu ronge la parafini. Nde ukishalo instead okupunda parafini. Tuale punda yay rafini. Yay rafini. Mwewa parafini. Waya pimi naka parafini. Kwali tuale pima na kupima mwapima. Kasuba kuya mkushitisha sote. Tuale mkushitisha sote. Tuale sugar. Looking at my grandmother made sure that we pushed harder to see that we get educated because my grandmother believed in education.
Wow.
She really wanted us to get educated.
Was she educated herself?
Yes, my grandmother was educated. Herself, she used to say she reached standard D.
Okay, yeah, my standard.
But she was married to my grandfather was the district education officer. Yes.
Wow.
In a central province and also Kabwe.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you've provided some context because when I remember Katondo back then, ngabalanda ekara ku Katondo ni she, according to Kabwe standards back then, or maybe even now, then you would be at the lowest echelon of the whole structure of the, society. They would consider you to be ebe karaku nishukuria economically eba bamunshi. Yeah, then ifo kwale bati koto wale kara bale kutati kuleruiz nga wafuma kuleruiz wamkwangala Katondo, because playing in Katondo is fun. You know how it is in the ghetto. Mu ghetto chali dila emu ama games ayasuma kwangala okusuma, so we would go and play Katondo. Then nga wabwela there will be evidence, because tatwa kwite nsapato, so there will be evidence that acha mkwangala mkatondo because kwara bati now ubutuluka like nelo bali are red. So you can't even deny that fact when they just say iwe wacha mkwangala Katondo, then you get a beating, because you'll be dirty.
Olo wacha mkusamba kuchitobo yes kwati fuko bale sukire vima minerals kwali chi down, so kwale banga mwafuma. So I also wanted to also mention that the immediate elder sister to my mother, she got a job whilst we were staying in Katondo. She got a job in Zambia Railways, then she was given a house in Railways. So that's how twaisire kuka kokali kwati nika transfer kwati ni elevation fidia mwayako pamulu, so twakukire twayikala nomba. Unfortunately she also died. Yeah, but my uncle picked me. I'm sorry. So for me, when he picked me, in fact when he got me to come and live with him in here in Lusaka, he brought me to Rhodes Park. Imagine from Railways. Sapato na refu alona ishine kuno after na pashi grade 7. Sapato na kwete yari ile ababika ya kwate chamudiganji. Mukati na ikwata chishimbi.
Okay. Sapato bale fuala before Garagata.
Shosho bale fuala ba Zambia Railways. Shidia na ikwata
yes.
Itakwanga wapanto tuwa mkontola nefu. Sapato na kwete. Ono manasa isakuno. My uncle took me manje pamanda yupala. Kya stile fya kufuala. Kya stila na sapato Bronx. Wow. So if you know national for the ICD in Girat Fest at Bronx, ya ambire kun sapato. Wasa stile sapato wanko Bronx. Very expensive shoe. And he even enrolled me at Kablonga Boys. Wow. So me, I was determined that we have suffered. I was determined. I just have to be an academic genius. And true to the fact, Kablonga Boys, no one would even in our class, even those they can remember. Wow. 9F 2000, I was the best.
Wonderful. So for me, what I remember, the last time I really saw you before I came to see you again during our adulthood was we used to be at the same school. We used to live in the same area. When you moved to your, is that your grandmother's? That place, the area where we stayed together?
That was Railways. No, my mother, that was my mother's place. Okay. The elder sister to my mother.
Yes. So in that area, that's where I remember you. I remember you by your nickname. Can I say it?
Yes.
Yeah, we used to call you Liwewe. And you would get upset.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us about that. Why were you getting upset?
We went to play. I remember this guy. You know what he did? We went to play football. So as we were playing, so kwali kumama penalty. So nenga na umana tuna. Wanang divale ingisha video. So this guy just says, "You are commentator, you are player." My father used to play football in Kawe Warriors, so I loved also to play soccer. So no, ukura warisa pitirira. So mubasire mpera veshina ta. Abali baliwe.
Yeah, then we
commentate.
So funny. Yeah.
So that's how.
Then we went to the same school also, the same primary school, which was Kasanda Malombe.
Yeah.
In my case, mu class ifwe twalikala pa Masaka kwali bakusenda kalisaka kunganda because I think I'm a desk yali chepere so kwanshika pa Kasaka LY kala and like, do you remember in your street, because we lived in the next street, Mutende.
Yeah.
So in your street, Wuseko Street, next to your house, pali bana party. Then pali bana wili. Then pali bana abu.
I even saw that picture, which was
me and Abu, right?
With Abu.
And Kozo.
I was in veterans.
So what I remember about that street is that's the street we would use when going to school. Ngatuya pa Kasanda, your street. So ngatuya pita, then kuntanshikula kwa lichi bus chavwarika. You remember it?
Yes. Chibas chavwarika.
Good memories, huh?
Yeah, good memories.
And then kuna kwa that ku security. What was it called, that place?
That place was called the...
Where Bashimwengwe used to work.
Yes, that was a training school.
Training school for Zambia Railways?
Police, yes.
Yes. So I remember their drills at night when they're running. And yes. For me, those are beautiful memories of our childhood.
Me too.
Wonderful. No, let's continue. Let's go to your dad.
No, thank you very much. So that's how I now came to Kablonga Boys here. Got the best student. Passed very well. Then earned myself a spot to go to Hillcrest National Technical School. I got 512 marks. One of the best students. My uncle was very happy.
Which uncle is this?
This is Dr. Kennedy Deshimpi. And he was the only surviving son to my grandmother. Wow. He's the only one we just relied on. Eba letu sunga, baletu pela fiance, baletu panga. Then he was happy to see. I remember one day he said, I think I take you to David Kaunda instead of taking you to Eucharist, so that I keep on seeing you.
Okay, because he's based in Lusaka and David Kaunda DK is in Lusaka. He's
also a technical school, so he said, since you've qualified to go to Eucharist, it's easy for me to take you at DK. So I refused.
So this is because he was so proud after seeing your results.
He was so proud, but he also aware that if I go far, maybe I may lose it.
Okay.
So he wanted me to be near where he could be seeing me. So I refused. I remember, no, uncle, I've earned me to go to Eucharist.
Hello, Eucharist.
Eucharist. So that's why I said, okay, it's fine. He packed for me. Eucharist. Eucharist. Term 1, I was doing very fine. Then, Term 2.
What grade is this?
That is grade 10 now. Term 1, I was okay. Term 2, ndeposa kuna mano ku school. So number Term 3, I now, it was on 24th October, on Independence Day. So as I was moving, I entered this room. So first they used to call me, there was a name again, they nicknamed me. They used to call me Stongwani. Stongwani, it means a hyena. Takwata plan. Hyenas chimbwino plan. So every time they would just see me, I loved the school, books, so I was a Stongwani. So because I had no plan. So when
is this like a form of peer pressure?
Yeah, it was peer pressure. It was mockery on my part. So when I met the same guys who were calling me Stongwani, I found them drinking. So they had bought church 750 meals of spirit. So I know when I slave cafe join, come and join. That's how I took Nanuaku cut. And for me, it was exciting. I was high and I was able to go look for a girlfriend because my girls I used to admire.
And you were shy?
I used to be shy. So there was a certain girl I had to follow in my drunkenness. Come, let's chat. And the girl didn't want to talk to me also because I was very drunk.
Your state.
So now, after that, I said, okay, I'll not drink the following morning. I said, I'll not drink. But I was again, because I felt good. So nalisa mfua wino ata kabweke shapo futi. No banga na weke shapo. Baka nchikata. So the best day akunwa when we closed school. So we closed school in grade 10. Nalisa ukapa. Nalisa ukapeti retine. Chakwe what? I collapsed. I've never been shared this. This is a good platform that I'm sharing in detail.
Wow.
I got so drunk that I was lifted. Kai we used to hire my buses. Mwachita hire basi. Yami senda fida ku Eucharist. Oro yami tuala pa town. Oro yami senda like kuma 11 hours. Oro yami mwafika pa town center. Oro yami tuala ima 02. So from 11 to 02 kukolwa. So tuale kolwa. So by the time we needed kuma 24 blackout. Banji mishefye mu bar, I was picked. Mukumposa ve mu bus. Na isire vuka ve pa palapa ya lese rukirama Eurobus services palapa finde kwa house.
Oh, those days when those buses.
Pona isire vuka vya na tufika mu Lusaka. Ngova. Na booking never got taxi. No tuntu I went home. I just went and slept. Then my uncle came, looked at me, asked me, what's the problem? I said, I'm not feeling very well. I am being a doctor. He said, how papa never umana ka history taking. Vasivale mona fifira na bande umfa fifa. Kaji na kwete fa ngova bena bayanshitira na amoxi. Bande tela na panado. Take this. Bena ba mwenemo kwati.
Ni malaria.
Ni malaria. Kaji nyangova ninja mbaka bia. So twice I saw foot number grade 11. So grade 11 we opened school. My uncle gave me school fees and he would do pack and give me a lot of money. Nasaya, Defika vemu school. I found a friend of mine. We went to drink. Kaidi yoto aisola ve Defika ve. Nombanesh na chinja from Stongwani to Brand Bronx, Bonarivex, Geodanks, Jiramavin. Wamu ya. Brand Bronx.
Hold on. This episode of Dads Without Dads podcast is powered by the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. We are really enjoying this conversation. So we take a break, and when we get back, we continue. You're watching Dads Without Dads podcast, and my guest today is evangelist Brian Chishimba. We continue.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
To abuela number, with a new name now. Brand Bronx, Brave Brico, Bonarivex, Geodanks, Jiramafin. Then at one time, I remember we got so drunk, then came back in school. So twali umfwensala sana. So ifwe na kuli PU prefect by that time. Kai twachate usungama ki ya kupotre. Tuwelewa tupere kwa ma-eggs nenkokotura tocheko kuba. So imakaze tupere ale parapero lubuli lwapya. Nasa bafye kwa china manomba. We beat up this man. Then he reported us. That's how I was suspended from Eucharist. Bampera suspension. That one was definite suspension, 8 weeks. Tuamba fenomba no bwera na kunganda. Kwamba fukula koloka twala mkubebe nshikunganda. So tuambele fukula chita turela la muskulu bali tamfya, but turala muskulu tulakolwa. Then there was also a night club in Livingstone where we would go now. We were going to go night club at the age of 17 years. Tuamba nokula senda manje. Amagero mulamu ine nomba. Tukarife baiche nomba. And protected. We never even cared. no protection. Send afye mwaya. You don't care. My academic vision was somehow like cut off. And kunganda kurewes, if you remember kurewes parapo twaleikala, every parent would say muleba konga Brian.
Yeah.
Brian yuko.
Yes. Because we knew you for your good grades. Yeah, we knew you for being a very good performer at school. Yeah.
So nasa fya lubana fya kula korwa fya. Then because I also had the JETS project I was doing, so I was called. I formulated an insecticide which I called the Bronx insecticide. Potachloronicotinamide capsaicinoid. Potachloronicotinamide capsaicinoid. 2-hydroxypropane, 1,2,3 tricarboxylic acids. In epidemic terms, we call it the Bronx insecticide. I remember. So I started to discover a project where I could JETS, and in fact I was the best. I came out the best. Then, term 3 tulaisa mukuisula. There was now confusion in school. So there was a riot now in school. I happened to be one of the ringleaders again. Tuck shop, shan. Then, after the riot ended, they did their investigation and they found I was among the ringleaders. I was expelled from Eucharist. Grade 11. After being expelled from Eucharist.
Was your suspension lifted?
It was lifted. It was 8 weeks. It was a definite suspension.
Okay.
So I was expelled from Eucharist. So after being expelled, I now, I was about to go back now to Lusaka. So I just watched on ZNBC News that some were suspended, some were expelled because there was a riot. So I said ZNBC that the permanent secretary, Minister of Education, has rescinded all those students who were suspended and expelled. They can go back to school. I know we no pondi up,
oh.
So for yesterday, I remember that time they were up at school. Bronx. You know what that won't say.
Okay. So the expulsion was rescinded.
Yes, that's how I came back in school. But then grateful also because there was a teacher who really encouraged me. Yeah, Mrs. Nkata. I usually call her my mom. She even just saw the recent 10 years. So she even just called me when I was coming here, just trying to encourage me. Thank you, my son. She really prayed with me and said, and what I wanted, the way I wanted to show people at Eucharist, I said, my mom, I wanted to show them that I come from, I have no support, so that I win sympathy of teachers. You see? Like uncle Fidia. So
yet uncle was doing everything for you.
Yes, he was doing everything. I remember my friend's father even used to pay school fees for me at some time.
Oh, really?
So my friend's father would even at one time also pay school fees.
Under the assumption that you don't have financial support.
Yes.
And yet Dr. Kennedy Lishimbi is doing his best.
Yes, and he was making sure he was paying everything for me and sending me. But sometimes my friend's father would even support me. He became, until one day he had to ask me after I realized that don't you have parents? Every time you come to ask school fees from me. Kaidi loved me. That's how we used to live. Then, after went back in school, now grade 12. Grade 12 now, started, I forgot about my academic vision. Every day. In fact, we even used to call ourselves the Gambino crime family. We would smoke marijuana. At one time, paper. I smoked marijuana so much and with alcohol such that nasa filo kula mfwa force of gravity na ikulisha. One time nasa mfwa fikwa nambo kupena nomba. We could smoke, we could drink, we could do everything. Then it was my 18th birthday on 7th November 2003 on a Friday. Na yashite mitondo shima 750 meals. Na isire shite 57. And we called that day the 7 bomb theory. 7 bomb theory. Nensere fwenga tuambo kutukana tuwale tukana nensere shama. Sometimes nga tulobo kutukana nensere kubika kwa X-triple mama shani mwana shani fe kwa tuafyalo fefe kufi namafya tukana kula tenshi. Then on that day I got so drunk. I came back in school. I started just insulting, including the head teacher. In fact, the head teacher himself is the one who took me, drove to the police cells and had me arrested. That was the first time I spent a night in the police cells. After I was arrested.
As a grade 12 student?
Yes, as a grade 12. And the exams in Sharife Mupepi. I was arrested on a Friday, but the police walisa njipusha nomba yo mwaichi. Tolelemba ma exam, njere ndelemba. So vasire mfunya. Pasata daka chero. Kabiyo kalemba ma exam. Mkazi ntaanzeru kuskuru bafana hima. So funa isire ya muskuru. Funa isire lemba. Na lemba grade 12. And when the results came out, I managed to get 9 in 5 and 12 in 6. 9 points. And when
you managed to get 9 points?
Yes, 9 points.
You've always been brainy.
Kari sheremu. Otherwise, ngana lisendere.
6.
Ngana lisendere na 6.
Wow. You still managed to get 9?
Yes. 9 in 5 and 12 in 6. So, after na send my results, I applied at the Copperbelt University and at the University of Zambia. So, Ponce Parama University, I was accepted. Those days I remember, I wanted to do engineering and also medicine. But because competition cariko high, and I couldn't do that. So, Pa University of Zambia, I was accepted a Bachelor of Education. Then, Pa CBU, I was accepted Bachelor of Science in Forestry. So, I said, okay, first up, nde afe ku CBU. Because ku CBU, yala wama kofe ndia nchinje kofe murusakana ikarish. I was even sponsored, government sponsorship, fiancé. But my uncle, I even cheated. Told my uncle that, divepa 75%, you need to
be supplementing it with the 25%.
And my uncle used to give me. So to have capacity BU, now to show people that I am Brand, Bronx, Bonarifex, to have cafe the first day to have kire, Fyongo. I was arrested the first night.
You still wanted to prove a point even at CBU to show your presence.
Nafikireva tinewo hero. Ama rayo ti ama shani hapa CBU ni fuebo aliko. Nga miwa allowance ya cherwa kofia. Fyongo, Bonarivex.
Ifo bali tuishwa noko tuafuma.
Ifo bali tuishwa noko tuafuma. Ifo Brown, Bronx, Bonarivex, Geodanks. It's class I was not attending. At one time I remember I went in a lecture. Nishibale funda mathematics. Nishinalefu wala nensapato skuna. Ya munandi the late who gave me. Yali kwa skuna ngandende yale lilati ko. Tuwale itati desperado. Nasa ingira mu lecture nasa role shafe. Nasa punda ta. Tukesa remba kofe exam if no clear tuwali clear kare. Then lecturer nukisa alanda what is that a challenge? Dele ulelanda lombolanda. For 12 months. Days. So when the exams now approached, when the Africa time ya my exams, I was not ready to sit for the exams. So that academic failure, so what do? I went on the first floor. I think I was drunk. So I threw myself from the floor and hit on the ground. Had my front teeth broken. Okay, see? These are dentures.
Wow.
I hit on the ground. Broken. I was unconscious. Taken to Quito Central Hospital. I was admitted there. 3 days unconscious. I was there for a month. And there in Quito Central Hospital, I started stabilizing. And now I had severe headaches, so doctors wrote even a report for me to withdraw on medical grounds. That's how I left CBU, and I became a university dropout. Now, wererana kukabwe as an academic failure. So for now, mbirefe kukabwe kulia nomba, I started just drinking, stealing from my grandmother. My grandmother loved me so much. I lost it in life. At one time, I even remember, I think you had picked a call when I knew at Biflo, Alex Tikakurusak, and I said, I got your number. I don't know how I got, but I called, you picked.
I remember you calling me.
Chani, tukeza kurusaka mugeze tupanga. Yeah, lilubana life. I remember, yes, at one time, yes. Nish life, yeah, sa lubana fe shattered. Then, I went to drink in the bar now. In Chikalakala, I used to move with my grade 12 certificate, showing everyone in the bar. Me, I'm very intelligent. Then, a certain man saw me and said, this man is, okay, apply for a job. That's how I applied for a job in the government. And I was given that position now. Even posted Mansa district now. Now with a job now. I was very happy now. Na iba na mbuya. Inaingira nchito muboma.
Life ya
chinja mbuya. I'll take care of you. Kamishitira na moto. Nothing. When I went to Mansa, I just started now drinking. I found this woman. A very good woman, and we agreed, and we even got married. She became my wife, and I was every time now drinking. At one time, I remember, I say, Sanish, I think she had said, stop abusing this alcohol you drink. So in one time when I say there was a drum the marriage was just characterized with a lot of pain because I was always sometimes coming 2 weeks orondebwera panga ndangana inga twafora kuingiramu kwisabwela nishalipwa nga sometimes feed on when she goes to look for food, number nambokola DF, then she said, That's how she filed for a divorce. And she eventually divorced me. Then, after being divorced, I became now reckless because I lost it in life. Even now, she has divorced me. Things became just so bad. And I felt very pain. I got depressed. I started drinking every day. Such that in 2013, in Mansa, there was a by-election taking place. The Honorable MP for Mansa Central at that time died in 2013. So me, I was so drunk. In my drunken state, very drunk, I started just destroying campaign posters. Then I was arrested, taken. I even appeared before the court. I was taken to Mansa Central Prison. I was remanded for 2 months. So the candidate who stood on that political party is a pastor. So he usually says he heard from God. So he came and withdrew the case. And that's how I came out of prison. I was acquitted under Section 201 like someone. Because even now, if I was jailed, I could have been. That's how I came out acquitted now. Started now showing people that if we tabekata, if we tatibatukake, for turiban tusana if, and okulalo fa kunchito, insulting my senior superiors, ngatuakolwa kula tukana pane baudu, kula senda multiple sexual partners. until in 2014 in February, I got severely sick. I became unconscious. UTH had to send an ambulance to come and pick me
From Mansa.
That's how I was picked and brought to Chainama Hills College Hospital. I stayed there. They did their investigations, and I was diagnosed with alcohol use disorder, HIV, neuropsychiatric squid, also liver damage, and also brain atrophy, generalized brain atrophy. Even there, I have a medical report, documentary confirmed. So after staying in Chainama a period of 3 months, I was eventually disengaged from employment. I lost my job and things became so bad for me. In 2015, I just had suicidal ideation, wapshamo, HIV positive. ARVs I stopped taking. I was just looking forward to die. I could drink every day. Pachi palapa libala stage 2. That became my home. Every day. I lost it. I had undergone divorce, depression, suicide. I was just looking forward for the day to exit this earth. There was no hope to live. I couldn't even see that it was a close division. Sometimes I would ask myself, am I going to get better in life? But things were just not working out. Until one day, that was in 2016, on 31st March, I woke up with a terrible hangover. Na ile ningwata hangover, na ile tutuma, kaili ngawalanwa every day, unjenja. So na ile pachi unipi palapen. Na ile I wanted someone to buy me ka junta kalaka 250 meals. So this guy had only 4 kwacha. So he bought that kajunta and gave me. So we were supposed to share. So me, I took all of it.
Gullet, open gullet.
Nakasiriza. Navera na board. Mulopa waenda. So this guy says, iwache mdala yo. Uri benzeru. Wanisirezira moba. Si usamba no samba kai no kununka pala na ale nunka no kununka. Chakwa nuku isunda wila na ale isunda wila fekaide. Na fuere nama tropico. Na shirt ya red na ka trousers ka green. Kono eka daily out taya na kwete. Fika fiyonse na adishtish. Ununka no nunka na meno ulipa kai pala. Nishishila pangisha na madentures. Kanshi no kwata ne ya madentures. Ununka no nunka iwa chimdara. Ona, wanisirezira. Oloka mwa wakafu kwacha. Nkani nankala 1 hour bakamba chepali mo. Chani mwela mo. I think reka ni chimenye chap. Bama muline. No puro ni pisha. So I felt very bad. So I went home crying. Then zoona. Funa la chulefi. Funa ile kunganda. Funa ile lala. My uncle Mr. Kafupi that night, he also woke up and prayed for me, my uncle. He prayed. So I woke up in the morning around 05. My uncle also wakes up, tells me, Brian, it was on 1st April 2016. Brian, kunchito kumobe. Na balembale tati, bale kufuaye nchito. Ona bakupekanisha nefi mpie fingi. So in my mind, let me go get my money. Inse ndangi ababanchitire mi street mairo. Tinkari champion. So funaire kachero nshasambire na mukalo munenu nkafe fuwala no sukusi. Funaisire fikafe kwa ndefika pa office palate. Ningufuati kuliko ka package kandala makono. Kulina leta. Atawe ni Fool's Day. April 1st. I've been food. Tapadi.
Yeah.
So that's how I started walking now, going home. And I was crying. I was once at CB. What happened to me? I used to work. I was married. I haven't got a son. Now am I going to take care of my son? But why nali pass up grade 9, 502? What happened? I was crying. Then I reached home and told my uncle that, uncle, I need God. Because in because me, I hated God. I would say, this same God, if he loves me, why did he kill my mother and my father if he really has got good intentions for me? So, naisire beba fiat, anko manje ntwale nko kulide so yuwinere sawe ntumfueko. Inekai, I had no choice. That's how I was taken to church. That's how I met Reverend Muyutu, Bishop Mususu at Evangelical Church. That's how he led me to receive Jesus. Now I had a lot of cravings. So that's how my uncle came and picked me. That's how he took me to Chinama. And I was admitted again at Chinama. That's where I received now psychotherapy and treatment. As we are speaking from that time to today, in fact, today I am 10 years, 22 days, alcohol and drug sobriety. It has not been easy.
Wow.
I now decided to say, okay, let me fix my life. So I found a very beautiful woman whom I shared the same story I'm just from sharing and explained to her. Even my status, spoke to her and told her about my HIV being positive. And she told me that she's negative and accepted to marry me. And she was put on pre-exposure prophylaxis. And such that myself have been adherent to treatment, and my CD4 count has been ranging 930 to 970. So my viral load is undetectable, and I've attained U equals U. Undetectable equals untransmittable, meaning I have reduced the risk of transmitting the virus to my partner. And together we've been married for 6 years, and she has remained HIV negative to date, and we are blessed with 3 children who are HIV negative. And not only that, I continued to pursue and decided to go back to school and went to Levi Mwanawasa Medical University, where I did a Bachelor of Science degree in mental health and clinical psychiatry.
Wow.
As we are speaking, I am a licensed mental health and psychiatric clinician and also pursuing a master's degree in clinical neuropsychology at the University of Zambia. Wow. So I've shared this story at the African Union Summit. At one time, I was also invited in Europe, in Thessaloniki, Greece, where I went and got trained as a universal treatment specialist as well as a prevention specialist. And this same story, I have also put it in this book, Triumph Over Alcohol and Drug Addiction. This whole story is in here. Even the way we live as a mixed status couple with my partner, advocating the space. Biflo, there are 3 things which are still stigmatized. One thing is mental disorders. People don't want to go to China. They think like mental illness is just madness. But mental illnesses, they range. There are variety of them. There is mood disorders, depression, bipolar is a mental illness. We have trauma-related disorders, being traumatized. You can suffer from mental illness, even just undergoing an accident. If it is not taken care of, you can even the loss of a beloved.
Right.
You can suffer from a trauma which we call post-traumatic stress disorder. We've got neurodevelopmental disorders, even substance use disorders.
Even women after labor.
Yes, that one which we call puerperal psychosis and the postpartum depression. Yes, you see. So you can suffer. Those are mental illnesses, you see. So it's not only madness which we call psychosis. Yeah. So these are stigmatized. And the other one which is still stigmatized is HIV. Thanks be to God that even today when I was coming here, I'd asked my wife, would you want me to still continue speaking? Because at one time I asked my wife, should I include my status in here? Then she says, there is no book then. Why are you going to hide if God has kept me negative? And you, even today, you don't even look. Just tell people, advocate. And in this space, I've even found young ones born with HIV. And you ask them that, why are you abusing alcohol? My parents have never explained to me. I was born with the virus.
Wow.
So I get reminded that HIV is still stigmatized. Even being in prison, I myself, I was remanded in prison. When you just say, I was in prison, everyone will look at you like a thief or a criminal. You see? Yet addiction is a chronic brain disorder which is relapsing in nature, characterized by compulsive alcohol and drug seeking despite adverse consequences. And it requires a biopsychosocial. And I am also grateful also to you, Biflo. You've been very supportive, especially in advocating in this space. And every time we call upon you, you always come. When we were launching this book, when it was launched by the Minister of Health, by then you were there. Even this triumph over alcohol and drug addiction, when it was launched by the Minister of Health, you came. You advocated. And even these two new books, which were the proven code, which blends evidence-based practice and the divine codes from brokenness, which shows that whatever happens for a good reason. And these books were officially launched by our owner, Dr. W.K. Mutalena Lumango, the Vice President of the Republic of Zambia. She came to launch at my 10 years, alcohol and drugs sobriety.
And I was there.
And you were there. You were there. And we are very grateful also for the support. The government is giving to us, not only me, but in the mental health space.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit more about the triumph over drug and alcohol addiction?
Yes.
And there's a milestone that you achieved with this book in terms of the school curriculum.
This book has been evaluated by the Curriculum Development Center, and it has been rated at 87%.
Wow.
And it is ready for use as a supplementary book under literature in English. They evaluated it, and this is the book. It's a prevention tool, ready to be used for grade 10 to grade 12 and the universities and general public. It is also found in Bookworld. Yeah, even together with this one. They are found in Bookworld, but specifically this one also, at one time, the Library of Congress sent a representative. Library of Congress is the largest library in the world. They have stocked these books in Washington, D.C. Wow. And you can see this is the number for Library of Congress control number. So we are talking about a recovery story on an international global platform.
Wow.
You see? And I also highlighted this at the International Society for Substance Use Professionals at a global conference which was held in Greece in 2024, where global people, a psychiatrist, doctors were there to listen. And also at the African Union Summit, I spoke about it when many came to witness, talk about this transformation. So it's a journey of hope. And in it, there is pain. For example, it's not an easy journey, Biflo. For example, I will specifically talk about taking ARVs every day. It's a very painful.
Please hold your thought, Evangelist. We take another break and then we'll continue with the conversation after. You are watching Dads Without Dads podcast, and our guest today is Brian Chishimba. Let's continue.
Thank you. So you can see, when we look at prevention aspect in regard with my story, quite as much as it is a very, very good story, but in it there is pain. Someone must learn something from this story. Look at me. I finished my degree. Yes, quite as much as purpose. I finished my first degree when I was 39. But I wanted to finish my degree at the age of 21, 22. So if someone is listening to this is not something you can just say. And thanks, B-Flow. We are really spreading a message to people out there that prevention is better than treatment. So learn something from this story. Many are still struggling. Many have died. Not everyone has just recovered and say, here I am, celebrating 10 years. You find it's even evidence is there that recovery has a lot of challenges. But of course it is there. One can still, there is hope, but prevention is the best to go.
Wow.
And when you come to HIV space, it is very possible for a person who is HIV positive to marry an HIV negative.
Let's talk about that. I'm really, really interested in learning about that. I didn't even know that, I'm sure many people out there didn't know that we do have such cases of, they're called discordant couples.
Yes.
Where one is positive and the other one is negative.
Yes.
And especially when they come together at a time when the other one is already positive. Because usually what we get to hear about when it comes to discordant couples is that they would be together, maybe then one steps outside of the marriage and then they contract HIV and then they get on treatment, maybe they get to undetectable levels. Then they continue being together after maybe some interventions here and there from family and other professionals, and they continue being together, but not necessarily like the way it was in your case. But that's really great to also learn. So let's just talk about that. Let's learn about, I've learned about you equals you, what is it, and all these things.
In fact, I'm not going to speak from the medical aspect, which I also understand. I can even speak, I'm a mental health clinician. But I'm here to show you the practical, lived evidence.
Yes.
It is even here, documentary confirmed. Before we came together with my wife, I was open enough to tell her about my status. And I took my wife to the clinic where I received treatment. And thanks to the doctor who would even want to even speak, he talked to us and told us that your wife must be put on some medication. They are antiretroviral medications, but they work as pre-exposure prophylaxis. Okay. What I mean by pre-exposure is I'm going to expose my partner to the virus. So she's been put on some medicine to prevent her from contracting the virus. And I was also tested to assess the viral load. Viral load is the amount of viruses which I'm containing. And it was undetectable. And when you look at the CD4, the CD4 is the immunity response, the immune response, which has been ranging 930 to 940, which is above, which is just good. So with this, meaning I have reduced the risk of transmitting the virus. And as evidence, it is even written in here. When you read the book nicely, you even find it. We have been together with her, and she has, even up to date, remained HIV negative. And all our children are HIV negative, even today.
Wow. Wow.
Sometimes I even say that if you're HIV positive and you hide your partner who is negative, then you marry and have children, and those children become positive because of you are a criminal. You are a criminal. Because science is telling us there's a way you can have children who are negative. You are a criminal. You are just passing that disease to your children. So be open to your partner. Let us share these things to our partners. Addiction. If you are an alcoholic and you have recovered, then you want to marry, tell your partner. Problem unapitamo. Don't hide. Because these things, remember, addiction is a relapsing condition. Addiction is defined by WHO as a chronic brain disorder which is relapsing in nature, characterized by compulsive alcohol and drug seeking despite adverse consequences. So it's a chronic brain disorder, meaning the brain changes in its function. The motivational centers of the brain are hijacked by the alcohol and drugs. So it is the alcohol and drugs which produces the motivation which you need. You no longer need to go for work. All you need is the alcohol and drugs. And it is relapsing. You heard me say, I am 10 years, 22 days, alcohol and drug sobriety. Why am I saying I'm 10 years, 22 days? Why am I counting? Because this condition I'm living with this condition. I am also at risk of relapse. God forbid I shouldn't relapse. Wow. I am at risk.
Wow.
You see, I am also at risk. So I should always be reminded.
So you have to be intentional yourself. You have to
I'll
play
give
a part.
this example, this good example. This is a chronic, these are mental illnesses. Mental illnesses, you only treat them, you don't cure them. For example, I'll give you this example, B-Flow. Here is a woman, she's sexually abused. Then later, she suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. She comes to me as a mental health clinician. I help her treat that PTSD. Am I going to remove the sexual abuse? She shall remain sexually abused. Or what I have done, I have just given her the mechanism to project a good mental health. That's why mental health is defined as a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his potential. One, there should be a realization of potential.
Okay.
Be able to cope up with daily stresses of life, be productive, and contribute positively to the community. So that's a mental health. So when you suffer, for example, from alcohol and drug addiction, so the way I suffered, the condition is still there. You see? The condition is still there. I've just hit a stage which we call remission.
Okay.
I'm not projecting the symptoms. So I should understand the triggers.
Wow.
What are the triggers? So I should know myself. I should do this, I should do this. And it, because this condition can compel you to seek despite adverse consequences.
Wow. Very, very powerful. The AIDS Healthcare Foundation has established 2 men's wellness clinics in Zambia. One is in Lusaka, and it is called Lusungu Men's Wellness Clinic, situated near Kolima Tower bus station. Then the second one is in Ndola, and it's found at a place called New Masala. So look out for AIDS Healthcare Foundation or simply AHF Zambia in those 2 places. These are safe spaces for men and very much in line with what we are discussing on this episode of the Dads Without Dads podcast. I must also mention that the AIDS Healthcare Foundation has many facilities around the country, and they also support the Ministry of Health in ensuring that there is antiretroviral treatment in our country. And one of the centers that I love in Lusaka is in Chaisa for the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. It was their first center. It's called Chifundo Clinic, and they provide ART there to different people who may be HIV positive and have been tested and recommended for treatment regardless of their ability to pay. So I thought I'd talk about AHF.
Yeah, too much.
Because
and thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
AHF.
And it is just connecting very well.
Yes, and they support this podcast actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they are very, very good people. They've got presence in all 50 states in the US.
Oh, wow.
And in many countries around the world, over 40 countries.
We are grateful.
And so they also provide they provide ART.
Yeah.
Regardless of one's ability to pay. That's what I love about AHF. Because obviously, in the pharmaceutical industry, these drugs are not cheap. Medication is not cheap. But there are people out there who are helping to make it easier for people who are living positively with HIV. For me, that's commendable.
No, we are grateful for AHF.
Indeed.
Thank you for what they are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk more about your books? So what significance does each book have? Can we understand the difference?
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you very much. So this book, it's an inspirational true life story. So this book, when you read this book, you are going to have that resilient force. You are going to be inspired. You may not be an alcoholic, but you may be maybe a failure. It may be divorce. You'd find it in here. It may be academic failure, HIV, alcohol and drugs, prison life. You find it in here. So this book will inspire you to live again.
Wow. I love that. I love that.
To restart afresh. Because it will say, if he can make it, I can do it as well.
Yeah.
So this book will inspire you at a point of failure.
Yeah.
So when you're feeling like
triumph over alcohol and drug addiction.
Over alcohol and drug addiction.
Where can someone purchase this book?
This book they can purchase it from Book World, or they can get it direct from me.
Please share your contact details, your contact information.
My number is
our viewers can reach out.
0972 201483. 0972 201483. So this book will inspire one to regain their potential and realize that even as you have been locked down there, you can also reach the highest potential. You can also, even me, what happened on Saturday was the unimaginable, Biflo. The entire vice president as our guest of honor. That was unimaginable.
Right.
You see? So
looking at that background that you shared. It's like the odds were against you, and someone wouldn't expect that you of all people would achieve all these big things and publish all these wonderful books and even attract the attention of government at that level for the vice president herself to be at your book launch and celebration of your 10 years of sobriety.
That's true. That's true. Then this second one brings now the biopsychosocial model of treatment. So once you get inspired, especially if you're struggling with alcohol and drug addiction, you need this book. So this book will guide you, and it will tell you that the treatment strategy for addiction is, number one, recognizing that addiction is not just a moral failure, but it is a disease. It is a disease, and it needs to be treated biologically as well. So you treat it biologically. You go to the hospital. So don't just end at church level or witchcraft or spiritual level. No. Go to the hospital. When you're struggling with alcohol and drug addiction, go to hospital, Chinama, so that they can give you some detox, put you on thiamine, and any other medication, and now subject you to what we call psychological intervention, cognitive behavior therapy, motivational interviewing, trauma-focused therapy. So this book highlights on the treatment pattern and brings also lived experience. So this book brings two people in the sense, for example, Biflo, if you want to go in the jungle, and there are two people you want to learn from. One who has been in the jungle and has come out, he knows where the lion stays.
Right.
And the other one who has studied about the jungle. So who can you learn from? Both are important. You need to learn the one who has been in the jungle, because the one who has been in the jungle will tell you that the lion is found there. The one who has read about the jungle will tell you that if the lion is not there, it may be there. So this book blends the evidence-based practice, the medical intervention, with the practical evidence.
Powerful.
It brings two insights to tell you that recovery, purposeful life is possible for one.
It's also available in Book World?
This one is available in Book World.
Amazing.
You can get it also.
Okay.
We are also yet to take it to the Curriculum Development Center and also distribute it to many recovery rehabilitation centers. Then, this one, This one brings the faith-based intervention, a higher power.
Yeah.
For example, my higher power is Jesus Christ. That's why I'm not a musician, but I can also try just in 1 minute. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. So this one brings the faith-based intervention to recovery. It tells you that you need a higher power to change.
Wow.
Yeah. You need a higher power to change.
Wow.
My higher power is Christ Jesus. Yeah. So it also talks about that whatever happened in your life is not a mistake. Sometimes
Amazing.
you'll be shocked if I say this statement that thanks to God who allowed the devil to make me an alcoholic or a junkie. Had I not been an alcoholic, I could not have met the vice president. Had I not been an alcoholic, I could not have sat here.
To come and inspire people.
In short, we can even say thank you, Satan.
for tempting you.
For tempting me. Because through your temptation, I have found Jesus.
Amen. That's a good one. That's a good one. We take our last break, and when we return, we get to find out more about what the future holds for Brian Chishimba. Welcome back. Dr. Brian Chishimba. So where next from here? I know that 2 years ago, you celebrated 8 years of sobriety, and this event was held at the government complex. I was there in attendance. I remember amazing people like, what's her title? Is it Reverend or Pastor Lizzie?
Bishop Lizzie Mzambalika.
Bishop Lizzie Mzambalika. Yeah. She's always been there for you and with you on this journey. I saw her at your 8 years celebration. Then I also recently saw her at your 10 years celebration where I was also in attendance. And this one was a big one where the vice president was also present. There's an announcement that you made about what will be happening annually, and I would like you to speak more about that and what inspired that decision. Yeah,
thank you. So before I just speak about that, I would love to also to talk about how I met Bishop Lizzie. She's my mother in the Lord and also my mentor. And I can say she has been praying for me. So my testimony is incomplete without her coming into picture.
Amen.
I met her in Mansa when she was working for Plan International. She was the manager there. So there was one drastic decision she made where she resigned from employment to go to Bible school. So that time I was an alcoholic. So I would say, how do you stop a good job? Kwenda vau pastor. Living a good job. But why? Then I realized after I also wanted to change. I was looking for a genuine place where I can go and worship. I realized that she was, I think, a genuine person. Because how can she leave something to save humanity? So I knew that this is the person I need. And she has been very helpful, very instrumental. And we're together. I'm also a volunteer at Family Liberty, where she's the director, a rehabilitation center where we help people who struggle with alcohol and drug addiction. And not only that, from there is where we gave birth to the Restored Mind Solutions. Restored Mind Solution is an enterprise. Mm-hmm. Yes, Restored Mind Solution is an enterprise. Yes, it brings such like a new beginning. New Beginning is also a rehabilitation center.
A big shout out to New Beginning Rehabilitation Center. I'm rocking their t-shirt right now, and it was given to me at the 10-year celebration of Brian Chishimba's 10 years of sobriety.
Yeah, they are also just like Family Liberty. We are grateful that they also came to support us. So Restored Minds is an entrepreneur limited company, which is an institute which brings those who have undergone rehabilitation. Now we mentor them into purpose-driven individuals.
Wow.
We bring authorship initiatives, we bring education, help them writing. Like recently, it was on Monday, we went to give a talk at International School of Lusaka, authorship and creative writing. So we blended, so as Restored Minds, that's what we are doing. And on that day, we spoke about yearly conferences, which will be happening every April. So these conferences are tagged Alcohol and Drug Sobriety Conference, and would like to partner even with you, Biflo.
Even so with the Dads Without Dads
even
podcast.
Dads Without Dads podcast.
Because we discuss mental health here.
Yes, so that you are also part and parcel of this event.
Wow.
And we are hoping that the next one, we are just going to bring the ego one himself. His Excellency.
Wow.
Dr. Hakainde Hichilema.
Nice one.
If we can bring the vice, we'll bring him as well. By his
you are
grace.
a man of faith.
We need him.
You know that when you mentioned to me that the vice president is likely to come, the way you were saying it with a lot of confidence and faith, I was thinking that, does he know what it takes to bring the vice president? Does he know that these people sometimes they will accept, but on the actual day, they send someone else and they come and read the speech to say, oh, I am the PS in the vice president's office, reading this on behalf of my boss.
Yeah.
But she actually came.
She actually came.
So you're a man of faith. So I can't even disbelieve what you're saying right now. I can't even doubt that indeed you may bring Igor next time.
Igor, yes, we need him. He's our father.
In your speech, actually, we laughed because you mentioned something like that. You said, thank you, Madam Vice President, for being here, and pass my regards to the President and tell him I want to meet him.
Yes.
I love that.
It is really, because I've got a lot of initiatives which I want to speak to our father.
By the way, maybe I should also take this opportunity. Now I'm speaking to State House. I want to host him on this podcast, on the Dads Without Dads podcast. I want the president to sit right where you are seated, and we can have this conversation.
Wow.
Why not?
Why? Yes, he should come. Yes, he needs to. And I can tell you, he will come. Because he needs to share how he has maneuvered that resilience to become head of state.
Yes.
We are all inspired. And I can tell you, he is coming.
He should definitely
just write an invitation. Just write an invitation.
We will be writing an invitation to State House to invite the president to be on the Dads Without Dads podcast in order for him to come and share his life story, even as a dad, and also want to learn more about his background and anything else that he may share that can inspire someone out there. And we know a lot of people want to learn about that story. By the way, we've been receiving requests, even in the comments, where people are saying, invite the president, invite the president.
Them, by the way, as well. Yes, so please, just do so. Right, even as we began with it, when I was writing, people were laughing that
you're being too ambitious. I want to tap into that level of faith where I know that indeed I can believe and it can happen. So I'm also now a man of faith, believing that the president will come and we'll interview him. We'll have a conversation with him here.
And it will be awesome.
Amen.
A great platform indeed. And we really need to hear his story. Many will be inspired. And I pray if maybe if he can even find in his busy schedule, he comes quickly and share his story like the way we've shared. It can touch many lives.
Thank you for advocating for us. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now, let's go back to your story. And so you're telling us that this will be an annual conference. and people will be able to then learn. And I believe organizations that work in this space, whether it's rehabilitation, mental health, they can also be a part of this big annual conference that you are starting.
Yes. We are, in fact, calling for all organizations, not only mental health, all organization, because alcohol and drug addiction, it's affecting everyone. Be it the music industry, as you've been the president, many are affected. Potential is being lost.
That's true.
Medical field, be it engineering field, teaching service. So we are calling all organizations, all associations, because this is a problem which has come and we should work together. And it is tagged alcohol and drug sobriety. There's no other way. It's just alcohol and drug sobriety conference.
Yeah. Wonderful. I really appreciate you for being on this platform, and I want this conversation to continue. So what we're going to do is that for now, we will end here, but I want to make you an offer right now.
Yes.
And I want you to accept. You have no choice.
Yes.
I want you to become a regular guest on the Dads Without Dads podcast. And one of the things that I would like you to do is to be watching some of the episodes, and then once in a while you and I can be coming to have a conversation where you can even analyze some of the episodes that you have watched, and how certain people may receive help and anything else in that regard. I believe we can do something even beyond this, because I want you to become a regular guest here so that you can be sharing knowledge from a professional point of view, because I believe that many people are still dealing with a lot of trauma.
Yes.
I can see that when I speak to some of my guests, I ask them to say, how do you feel?
Yeah.
And they'll say, for the first time I have shared and I feel better.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they've necessarily heard everything that they need to hear, because I'm not a professional, I'm not a therapist, but I would like a person like yourself to be coming here, and then you can also be sharing some information that can be helpful to the viewers who can relate with whatever my guests are speaking about. So do you accept, sir?
100%.
Wow.
I mean it.
Thank you.
100%. Yeah.
Nice one. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been speaking to Dr. Brian Chishimba. You have heard his story, and you will hear it again as we will be inviting him over and over on this podcast. He's been amazing, but I want to hear from you. How did you find the Brian Chishimba episode? Can you drop us some comments in the comment section? And remember to share this content as much as possible, because I believe that this episode is going to help a lot of people. I meet a lot of parents who are telling me about what their children are struggling with. Sometimes they have these suspicions that maybe their child is taking some substances. We have people like Dr. Brian Chishimba who may help. And so I want you to share those stories. You can email us, you can inbox us, or you can actually contact Dr. Brian Chishimba, who has already shared his number on this platform, so that those people can receive help as well. And even those people that are interested in just getting into school to learn mental health and to study courses or programs similar to the one that he himself studied and what he's still studying, they can also reach out to him, and he can advise you on how you can go about it and which institutions are providing lessons in that regard. This conversation will definitely continue. Thank you for watching the Dads Without Dads podcast. And right about now, we are signing out by giving some shout outs to some of the people that support this show, including the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, as well as our production management company, the Naveen Agency, our director and producer, Big Man X from the Big Man X Limited. We're also grateful to our DOP, Prince Gift. A big shout out to Christopher Musumali, Young King G, who does our audio. Not forgetting our logistics manager, Mr. Dennis D2 Mulongoti. Big shout out to our runner, Keshas Mushas Mumba, as well as our studio, which is Mwana Studios. Not forgetting our production partners, Terrence Pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of the Dads Without Dads podcast. See you next time, and let us know who you want us to host next.